Sorry, I'm trying to avoid the Queen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here back for another Transformer transformation review thingy. It is and it isn't that. But well, that's just how I start a video. It's I've had my hair cut again. Yes, I did actually cut it, and I think this is kind of the last time because I'm getting down to one little kind of strip in the middle. There isn't much more cutting really to do. I'll leave it now until, I don't know, till it either grows back or the wind changes. That's just the way it is. It feels cooler in a way, as in cooler, as in I'm less warm, and that's a good thing. I'm talking today, yes, it is nearly auto assembly. It's 2 months now. Sorry, that was rude. It's 2 months to auto assembly. And I'm so excited. I'll do an auto assembly video later. I think you all know where I stand on auto assembly. Today it's movie line. Movie line. Sounds quite contemptuous, doesn't it, when I say it like that? I don't mean it to be. So I want to show you an interesting highs, lows, interests, just all the kind of little standout moments, whether they be positive or negative. Because I have a love-hate relationship with the movie line. I loved it even before it started. Back whenever the first two bots that I picked up were, it was Ratchet and Blackout from the first movie. Yes, I picked them up from Argos back home. And of course I loved them because they were Transformers, and I love all Transformers. But obviously since then, some Transformers are more equal than others. So got them home, had a good old play, realized there was something a little different about it, about those bots, and all the subsequent movie bots. There was something a little bit different, and it is that difference which kind of divides Transformers fans. Now I know a lot of Transformers fans aren't, say for example, Unicron Trilogy collectors or RID collectors or Beast Wars collectors, but no continuity divides the Transformers fan collective like the movie bots. I've very rarely encountered a middle ground which is yeah they're fine, or I like them as much as I like other continuities. That one seems to be the rarest. The most common one is I love movie bots or I hate movie bots. I dislike them intensely. And today I want to tell you why. I want to show you a few things that are real standout moments for me, either in terms of bots that are real shit kickers, as in, they're just the kind of bots that are really scraping the bottom of the barrel. And then conversely, the bots in the movie line that to me just really stand out, and it's almost like they don't belong in the movie line. Of course, there's a slight blurring with movie line. You've got the kind of a Hunt for Decepticons generation kind of crossover stuff, but you also incorporate Cybertron, Armada, and Energon, aka the Unicron trilogy. But we leave those aside. For example, there's a movie repaint of Mudflap, Cybertron Mudflap. Cybertron Mudflap is a lovely bot, but the movie repaint of him is just a little, all kinds of things. Anyway, first thing I want to show you is a bot that I like. Given my penchant for not exactly liking Earth vehicles, more accurately, your average car, your four-wheel thing, this is a surprise. It's like, his name's Bone Crusher, I think. Now, I must just say, I'm not really, I'm not as knowledgeable, if I'm ever knowledgeable about bots. I'm not as knowledgeable with the movie line as about the rest of them. This is, I think he's called Bone Crusher. I'm pretty sure he's called Bone Crusher. He has a couple of different names. I think he's also called Demolisher, depending on where you pay attention to the movie, or you pay attention to the fiction, or what's written on the blister pack. This is quite a nice little thing, and he is of course a minesweeper. What I like about him is that for a deluxe, there's an awful lot of very groovy transformation. Now, an awful lot of transformation in a deluxe is often an interesting thing. But when you scale it up to a Voyager size and you give a Voyager size 4 times as much transformation as a deluxe, that can get very, very boring. But I'll just transform this guy very quickly and let you see what he looks like. There he is, just so willfully other, super deformed, if you will. Lots and lots of interesting transformation features in this guy, which you don't normally get in, say, things from the Cybertron trilogy. Although you do get a lot of the similar features from, say, RID car robots, but this is kind of as good as the deluxes get. He has that's a nice pose from two, isn't it? Kind of a roller skating motherfucker of a bot. Nice thing. And now one that just really, really disappointed me. I was sure it was going to be good because it's an alt mode that I really like, and indeed I'm putting it together still. Um, but the transformation is, this is my main complaint with the movie bots, is that the transformation is just shit. It's not fun. You kind of have to study it, and you have to kind of you have to know it anew each time, because there is no that there's a real lack of intuition, and this guy is the epitome of that. I love helicopters, but this fucker is an absolute disgraceful mess. This is Blaze Master, and this is the bot, unfortunately, that I could live without, despite the fact that the helicopter is rather wonderful. The transformation is an absolute disgusting mess. It's not fun to do. This is not a fun bot. Awful. And the bot that makes me go is this one. There, yeah, you know who it is. There's just too many. Um, I will collect some movie bots. I will never ever collect a bee, ever. And the bots that make me go, ooh, these guys, the Seekers. I love Seekers anyway, and the movie Seekers have a very interesting and special place in my heart. They look great, they feel good, and the transformation is very, very nice. And the bots that have made me go, shame. For example, this cycle former, this is of course Alita 1, but all of them, whether it be RC, Chromia, or whatever, eh, they they're a little bit of a mess as well. They don't look good in their bot mode, and if it doesn't have a good bot mode, if it doesn't have the bot mode is interesting but shit. Okay, interesting and good is one thing. Interesting and shit is another. The other one that made me go, that's disappointing, is of course Fallen. Because this looks pretty good, but the alt mode is an absolute mess. It looks like something that a kid has constructed with really old grotty Lego. And the first of a bot that has really surprised me. I was going to get it anyway because it's a plane farmer. And I got it home and opened it up and I thought, ooh, that's nice. Little thrust. Now, I've got his other little rear fin. It's in the box. See, I don't display them. That's the problem with these guys. I don't display them for two reasons. I don't have enough space in here. Rather, I do have enough space, but I'd be sacrificing instruments or tomato plants, which is taken over the window. And I don't love the bots either. But this has really, really surprised me. The actual bot, very, very interesting, and I'll just show you him presently. Nice little bot. I like the fact you can hardly see over his little cockpit. You can just about see his little face in there. Very, very posable. Now, I think this is a repaint of, oh, I can't remember the name. But I love this colour because it's Thrust. Thrust is nice because he's G1. Oh, Thrust. Say it with me. Thrust. You see, I'm being quite positive tonight. I could, of course, cite any of the leader class. Ooh, there you go. That's a Freudian slip there. Leader class Optimuses from the movie range, and just say what a joyless experience it is to transform those absolutely joyless. And very interesting and very fun bot. Very, very sexy. Hits every mark. Is this guy. Bludgeon. Always good. Always a joy. That's a nice colour. And there's even an odd category, which is, oh, I'm glad they made those. Look at them. It's a nice cream bun and a toaster. Oh. And then before we get on the happy, happy, joy, joy, we have abandon hope, all ye he enter here. This kind of shit is very dull. This guy and the rest of the records did 0 for me. So when we got to the last movie, I just stopped. After this guy, I stopped. I didn't buy any more. No thank you. But the one that I found most surprising, most interesting, and most appealing, oddly, is this one. I looked at him in the pack and I thought not very much of him. I quite like the alt mode. It's not a car. It's not the kind of thing you would see driving down the street. None of these things are, especially. Having said that, this is true, by the way. I'm not making this up. There is a concept Camaro that lives locally to here. It's a Bumblebee concept Camaro. You know, the one that you see on screen? However many they made, there is one very, very close to me. I see it driving through the village that I live in. The village that I live in, Bumblebee, now and again. There you go. This is Braun. And he is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I thought I had a Generation 1 Braun to show you. I can't find one. But I've also got the repaint of this guy, and I have the repaint of Generation 1 Braun, which is, of course, Outback. This is some kind of four-wheeled vehicle. It's a nest thing. Nest. It's a, what does it mean? Never eat stinky tempura. There you go. That's what it means. Never eat stinky tempura. This is a very, very nice little bot. The bot is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to transform him very, very quickly. See, you get this kind of thing going on. Tertiary mode, flight mode, anybody? Why not? Why the hell not? Very, very nice bot. I like the fact that all this shit just kind of folds out all over the place. You see all this stuff here? This is arm. This folds up nice and neatly into arm. This stuff is going to become leg. I got this guy whenever there was a drought because I thought, right, well, I need to have something. And he was going cheap because recently he and his ilk, the Outback or Fallback, I believe he's called, which is the repaint. You know, you can get them for like, you know, $6.50, and you can still get this guy. And I would absolutely, completely recommend this guy to anybody, even a G1 collector, someone like me who's not a movie fan. There is a very, very strong and very obvious Generation 1 appeal in this guy. A more experienced and more eloquent reviewer would be able to tell you exactly what it is. It's got something to do with everything about him. It's the color, it's the alt mode, it's the posability of this guy is second to none. It's absolutely fantastic. It's this shit here. Look at this bad boy here, and it goes over his shoulder like that. That's just a nice thing. Absolutely lovely. Let's see, we're nearly there with him. This is, of course, is it Hunt for the Decepticons, I think? I think it's Hunt for the Decepticons. Now, he does come with 2 weapons that are housed in the bot, and you can secrete them very, very nicely so that you don't see anything at all. Very, very nice bot. He's got a very posable face. Very full posable face, I mean head, of course. There's an awful lot that goes on here like that. Very, very nice bot. I love the color scheme of him. And of course he's you can imagine the Generation 1, which is this chap. This is Outback. I've got little Outback here, but I'm going to show you this guy first. Absolutely love him. Now I need to compare him with the repaint. So what you need is Generation 1 Braun and Generation 1 Outback, and then you have to have these guys together This is Braun and Fallback. They obviously lost Outback, or they decided it wasn't good enough anymore. These guys together, they look fantastic. This one looks a very, very different bot from this guy. Now you see, there's little G1 Outback, and there's his latest incarnation in this Fallback. Absolutely love these guys. When I found them, I think it was Smith's or something like that. I remember it was this guy initially. I thought, well, okay, I'll get him because he was something silly like 650, and I thought, yeah, well, there hasn't been anything very interesting in a while, and this guy looks. This is the lesser of many, many evils that are on the toy shelves at the minute. And I had him in my hand the whole night. Transformed him to and fro all night. Love it. Really good. I would strongly recommend this guy to any G1 collector. Anybody who's a fan of mini bots, especially mini Autobots. When you have this Braun next to your Generation 1 Braun, and when you have this guy displayed with your Generation 1 Outback, you've got a really interesting talking point for all Transformers fans. Nice thing. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed my little foray into the movie line. I shall see you anon. Good night.
Now that's what I call a robot in disguise. Thank you very much. Good night.